I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the scriptures. This is Jeremiah 31 and 31. And it says, Behold, the days come, says the Most High, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. So this is specific to the tribes, man. The house of Israel being representative of the northern kingdom, which is basically your Native American and Latino tribes, and the house of Judah, which basically is referring to the southern kingdom, which is the so-called Negro tribes. And this is who the covenant is made with. Let's get that word new. So it's going to be a new, Salakia, I want the word new. A new thing, fresh, a new thing. A new thing, fresh. So it's going to be a fresh or new agreement. Let's get the word covenant. New treaty between men, a constitution ordinance, an agreement, a pledge, alliance between Yahweh and man, alliance of friendship, covenant, divine order with signs or pledges. There was a new pledge, a new agreement that the Lord, a refreshed agreement that the Lord's gonna, because ultimately it is a refreshed agreement is a better term for it, because the laws are still going to be pertaining to us as a nation. We are still going to be doers of the law. But what's going to make this new or refresh is that we won't have the ability to break that law. And if you read the scriptures, the keeping of the laws what made us a great and powerful people, a blessed people, a separated people from all the face of the earth. So this is the whole point of the new agreement, or the refreshed agreement, or the refreshed pledge. The point of it is to put Israel back in a position of glory under Yahweh Shai, for us being his chosen people. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, says the Most High. So it's not going to be a covenant where they can break. It's not going to be a covenant where they can, where they're going to be a default on. Let's get Jeremiah 32 and 40. This is Jeremiah 32 and 40. It says, I will make an everlasting, I'll start at verse 38. It says, they shall be my people, and I will be their power, and I will give them one heart. And that heart is, goes into mind. See, inner man, mind. Labah. And I will give them one heart in one way, that they may fear, and reverence all toward me forever, for the good of them and for the children after them. So it's the whole point of the new covenant is to put Israel back in a position of being the separated holy nation of the earth. It says for the good of them, for our glory, for our righteousness, for our everlasting peace, man. It says, and I will make an everlasting covenant with them, that I will not turn away from them to do them good, but I will put my fear in their hearts, and they shall not depart from me, because we will not have the ability to default on that agreement. And you have these other Israelite camps out here basically saying that, bragging about their keeping of the law, bragging about how much better they can keep the law, how they can call out of work on the Sabbath, and so on and so forth, man. When in all actuality, all we can really do is rehearse the righteous acts, because we can't keep the law, man. The law is set up. Well, look at it this way: our captivity is set up so that it's impossible for us to keep the law. I'm going to get a few scriptures. This is Judges 5 and 11. And it says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers, and this is the noise of the archers is basically the ICBM missiles. And the place of drawing water, and the place of drawing water is basically our captivity here in America. It says, they shall rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of his village in Israel. Then shall the people of the Lord go down to the gates of. So in our captivity, we can only rehearse the righteous acts. Recount. It says to recount, rehearse, to tell again, because that tradition was taken away from us, man. That part of our heritage was taken away from us. And all you can really do is recount and remember the law, statutes, and commandments. But to keep it all the way correctly in captivity, it's an impossibility, because we're not in control of the food that we eat. I mean, of course, you're not going to eat a bacon sandwich, or you're not going to eat a pepperoni pizza, but we're not in control of the manufacturing of the food, and you don't know what Esau puts into these foods that we eat. And also, we're not in control of the fabrics that we wear. We're not in control what days we get off of work. So there's no way that we can keep the law here in this captivity. And as the other camps, they boast of keeping the law. They boast of calling off work on the Sabbath. Okay, well, the scripture says you break one law, you basically broke them all. But we can only rehearse the righteous acts here in this captivity. So this is 1 Peter 4 and 10. And this is something that Elder Gabar mentioned in a lesson a long time ago. It says, and every man has received the gift. The gift is basically this truth, this knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Even so minister, and to minister, to teach, the same one to another, as a good stewards of the manifold grace of Yahweh. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles, the utterance of God. If any man minister, let him do his ability which Yahweh giveth. So we can only teach, we can only perform that which is our ability to do. That Yahweh in all things be glorified, to Meshach Yahushai, to be praised in dominion forever and ever. That's why we're under a grace period, because it is understood that we can keep the law here in this captivity. And the only way that we're gonna, because the law is not gonna go away. It's just gonna be transferred to us directly, which is gonna make us perfect. Let's get Ezekiel, the 37th chapter. This is Ezekiel 37, about verse 25. It says, and this is speaking of the kingdom. I'll start at verse 24. I'll start at verse 22. Now I'll make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel, and one king shall be king to them all, and they shall be no more two nations. There should be divided into two kingdoms anymore at all. There's not going to be no southern and northern kingdom. It's just going to be all Israel. Starting with Yahweh Shai and rulership, the apostles, 144,000, the rank and order of which is set up by the Lord. Neither shall they defile themselves anymore with their idols, nor with their detestable things, nor with any other transgression. So how is that going to happen, man? How is the Lord going to promise and guarantee that we were not going to defile ourselves with any idol, detestable thing, or transgression? By writing the law within our inward parts. But I will save them out of all their dwelling places when they have sinned, and will cleanse them. They shall be my people, and I will be their power. And David my servant shall be king over them, and they shall all have one shepherd. They shall also walk in my judgments, and observe my statutes, and do them. The Lord is guaranteeing and promising that we are finally going to be able to perfectly keep the law. They shall dwell in the land that I have given unto Jacob my servant, and where your fathers have dwelt. They shall dwell therein, even they and their children's children forever. And my servant David shall be prince forever. Peter Prince forever, Salakia. Moreover, this is the point, I will make a covenant of peace with them. It shall be an everlasting covenant with them. It's going to be forever. It's not going to have a expiration date. Once the Lord puts all these things into place, it's going to stay like that for all eternity. And I will place them and multiply them, and I will set my sanctuary in the midst of them forevermore. My tabernacle shall be with them, yea, I will be the power, and they shall be my people. Let's get that footnote for tabernacle. My residence. How about this? My dwelling place. So the only way the Lord can dwell among us like that and be that interactive with us is if we are clean. If we are pure and holy and separated. And the only way that can happen is if we have the law within us and we walk perfectly and in perfect alignment with our Father. That's the only way. That's what the new covenant is. That's Christianity teaches that we're under the new covenant right now, that we don't have to keep the law. But Christianity is just a bugged out, psyop from the evil elite. That white Jesus is just a psyop from the evil elite, man. So let's get Hebrews the 8th chapter. There's a few scriptures. This is Hebrews the 8th chapter. This is the sixth verse. It says, but now he has attained or election. I'll start at verse 7. For if that first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. But it was without faultless because we couldn't keep it correctly. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, the Lord, I will make a new covenant. So this is a refresh. This is a so-called new and improved agreement that the Lord is going to make with his children. But as the Elder Gabar always says, the Lord had to put us through the paces of wickedness in order to appreciate righteousness. And that basically what all this is all about. That was basically the Israel's lack of ability to keep the law and his ability to always go off and break that covenant. That was to teach us wickedness, man. And as the Elder Gabar says, speaking of the forefathers of this truth, we have to learn wickedness to appreciate righteousness. It says for finding fault with them, it says, behold, days come, say Lord, thou make a new covenant with the house of Israel, with the house of Judah. This is a repeat or reference to Jeremiah 31 and 31. And if you read it, it's a very specific of who that covenant was made for and to. Not according to the covenant made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the hand of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not. Let's get the word disregard them, says the Most High. For this is the covenant. So he could tell you what the covenant is, or the new agreement is, that I'll make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Most High. I will put my law into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people. Because right now, we are creatures subject to vanity. That's the program. That's the computer program the Lord has in us right now. And yes, the Lord does put us programs us to do certain things. There is no free will, and that's something that a lot of people can't believe or understand or accept as well. So this new program the Lord's going to put us in our minds and our hearts is the perfection of keeping of the law. So they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and let every man his brother, say, know the Lord. For all shall know me from the least to the greatest. For I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. And he says, the new covenant has made the first old. Now that was the case, the wax old is ready to vanish away. So that's going to be that's the old way, the old program, if you want to put it like that. And the new program is going to be the law was written with our hearts and our minds. Let's get Hebrews 10, verse 16. So this is the covenant that will make, and this is repeated in the New Testament. This is basically paraphrasing the Old Testament. This is the covenant make them after those days, the Most High put my law in their hearts and their minds, and will I write them? Let's get the word right. To write upon a scribe, to write upon the mind, to program. Basically, when you have a computer program, you write computer programs, and you put in the computer, and that computer follows that program that you wrote for it. And the sins that were naked, I remember no more. Now, with remission of these, there is no more offering for sin. Having therefore brethren born into the holiest of the blood of Yahweh Shai, by a new and living way, which is consecrated for us through the veil that is saved to his flesh, and having the high priest over the house of Yahweh, let us draw near with true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience, and our bodies washed with pure water. So basically, that's what's the next step in our evolution as being princes of the power. With that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most High will and hope is edifying, that we give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Kahalal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.